This hat is from the show Supernatural. This body is from the show Supernatural. Yes, I was an extra in this show, which means I am on camera in existing episodes of this show. I'm not going to tell you when and where because I really don't know, but I am a product of that show, so that's where I wear Supernatural. And if you're watching this show now, you all are part of Supernatural. Okay, we're back to You No See Me. In other words, you can't see me. You can't see me. Okay, what about the person that you can't see? What are they telling you? They're a demonic entity and they are setting it up so that they are going to be broadcasting their thoughts directly into your thoughts. In other words, your mind is going to hear you and this demonic entity. And then what's going to happen is the demonic entity is going to make you disappear. In other words, known as you are going to lose your voice. Not only your external voice, but the voice inside your mind that's you. The one you always consider to be your voice. Your voice is going to disappear. And what's going to be left? The demonic entity and his friends. And then what's going to happen? Then someone from Hollywood, a well-known actor, is going to, after you pass out, you totally pass out. That is how it might last you for 15 hours. This attack, this demonic attack that removes the voice that you consider I. And then what happens? Well, you just totally pass out. You're just like out, like, and then you go into deep sleep. And then you wake up, and then a Hollywood actor, like Sam Elliott, is the only voice you hear after you're having demonics all night. Sam Elliott, he sounds totally normal. Just like, if he was doing an Ellen DeGeneres interview, just a total normal actor person. Sam Elliott said, "Damn good job, fella." And what? So what do you make of this? What I make of it is you can't see what's going on behind the scenes. But what's going on behind the scenes is the Illuminati takeover. And the Illuminati is going to remove the voice that you thought was you inside of you. And as I said, the demonic entities and their friends are going to move into your mind right back here. And they're going to set up shop there. They're going to serve tea and coffee. And they're going to have nice couches there. And it's going to be called the control room. And the Illuminati set up the control room in your mind. And then they are known as the walk-in. And they did, then it becomes sort of a daily, not an indifference, a daily concern as to what the Illuminati in your mind are up to. How is this happening? It's like that movie, Videodrome. It was an early movie, a David Cronenberg movie. Oh my goodness. Maybe 1980. It was about how television stations were broadcasting some secret messages into your mind, and they had to do with hardcore pornography and violence. Okay, it's live with Bob Frisell, and I want to tell you more about the hippie generation in Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, California. And the only thing I can tell you was I was about 4 years old at the time, and I wasn't in San Francisco. So what would I have heard at age 4? I would have heard Walter Cronkite and his reporters on CBS Evening News talking about the goings-on in San Francisco. Now, what would Walter Cronkite have reported? They would have talked about the flower children. They were basically very I don't know. I wasn't there. But, one of the flower children might have been like Janis Joplin, so they would be like unbelievable singers. So, that's the kind of person that they would be. They would have incredible talent. Um, Maybe they were poets. Maybe they were writers. Some of them might have gone to the famous hippie university was Berkeley, California, which is across the San Francisco Bay from San Francisco. What else would we know? They probably smoked cannabis. And then the strange Oswald, I can't remember his full name, but it was Oswald, and he developed a mass production method of tabs of LSD. So LSD was so plentiful it was practically free. And then, you mix all that together, and what did you have? Well, the average age of one of these flower children. My spiritual teacher at one time was one of these flower children. And when she was teaching me, she was about when I'm 64, more or less. But the whole point of it is these flower children may have become pastors, priests, some of the first female priests. Because, like a lot, like Anglican, it was all male, just like Catholic, and then they changed it so women could become priests. So some of these flower children, some of them were lesbians. And there were lesbians where one of the partner was an Anglican priest. So, put that in your hash pipe and smoke it. This is the history of drug abuse on planet Earth. I'm Bob Frizzell. Okay, we're going to do book reports. Okay, the first book report here is Autobiography of Quincy Jones. Is Quincy Jones an Illuminati? That's just going to be left as a question for you. Next answer is this person left Tibet when the Chinese invaded Tibet. And, last thing we know is he's a Tulku. Let's see, a Tulku. Do you know what a Tulku is? A Tulku is a person that was told that they were a reincarnated previous person that they knew, and they were looking for a reincarnation. So anyway, what's the cool thing about that? Well, I mean, if this Tulku is a reincarnated being, then what's to say that you're not? Okay, we're going to put this back at the front, and again, it's Supernatural, the TV show. Next one I'm going to talk to you about is, oh dear. I'm going to have to leave you here because Colonel Cliff Serene is going to be in our next segment. Okay, it's Colonel Cliff Serene, and today's news is brought to you by the letter Q. Okay, so that was related to the previous video that links up with this one that ended up with Quincy Jones's autobiography. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk to you about from the Men in Black, that's me, is what's the status of the first contact mission from friendly extraterrestrials like the Pleiadians? The answer is you have to follow Michael Love at Love Has Won. And Michael Love will give you some information that will be like, at least for us, it's Michael Love, and you just get to know how it comes. So how do you interpret Michael Love into when are the Pleiadians going to show up in your life? Well, generally speaking, they already are in your life. The Pleiadians. And what are the Pleiadians known for? I don't know. Okay, so we were earlier talking about the acacia plant. It's a form of like a jungle grass. And we did a whole video on that, so you can look for that one in my YouTube playlist. Okay. I just want to let you know that some of the videos today have got my supernatural hat in them. Okay, we're doing book reports, and we've been visited by Bob Frizzell, movie producer, and Next item is this is an interesting book, the Yogic Sutras of Patanjali, and there he is. He's next to his teepee there, and he's in a lotus position from India, and he's looking at his boyfriend saying, Jesus, you're hot, let's go in the tent and make out. An unknown fact is that it's pretty well known that the Illuminati are we're trying to figure out if they are sexual or asexual, and the answer is I can't tell you anything other than, generally speaking, there's a lot of like untried out people. In other words, they were like straight their whole life and they never had a gay experience. And if you're going to join the Illuminati, it means you're going to have gay experiences on your resume of things you've done, your bucket list. In other words, if you're going to progress up and get more and more superpowers, you're going to have to be available, which means you're going to have to do what they say. Well, is it true? Yes, it's true. Everything I told you about the Masonic Illuminati is true, except for the fact that if you take some tie-dye t-shirts and put them on various extras, then you could pretend as a background that this person is just walking by. They're like a Grateful Dead fan, and they're getting too fat. Okay, so why do Grateful Dead fans tend to look like Jerry Garcia? That is, enormous beards and enormous beer bellies. The answer is, I don't know. Okay, we were talking about the human biocomputer. That is the thing that is between your ears here, the brain. What about the other biocomputers of your body? Oh yeah, you have more than one. We think that perhaps you have a human biocomputer at each of your chakra points. And you're usually told that the best biocomputer for you is this one here, the high heart, because the high heart is the only one that the Illuminati in the end have to storm. That is your heart. Once they've stormed your heart, then you're fucked. Other places, though, that they might set up shop. If you find yourself coughing out of the blue, Illuminati set up shop here in your throat chakra. And once they have control of your chakras, like they got control of this, they got control of your sinuses, and they can make your sinuses so tight that you can't breathe. Barely. Like you're going like trying to get air. Yeah, they get full control of your body. No, not so far. It's difficult to explain. Anyway, we want to remind you that once you are under MK Ultra mind control, then you are a sheeple. Because Illuminati mind control is going to control everything that you do. So why did we invest in Illuminati mind control? It was designed to raise the consciousness of humans who are so far gone. Okay, do you remember in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there was the demon angel? That was his name, wasn't it? Angel? But he was a vampire. And he had vampire teeth and everything. And when he was about to go and drink blood, he turned into more of a vampire form. He had a more human-looking form like me, and then he had this vampire. I can't even do it, but they did it with special effects or whatever. But that would be the idea, that all humans are more like Angel, the fallen angel, the demon, than there were like good angels. So what the Illuminati did is they designed a scalar wave technology. And they also have different versions of it. They have like a microwave version and laser. God only knows how many different versions they figured out. Ways of implanting thoughts into your head. And the whole idea was to get you so confused as to how they do it. You just in the old days they considered it magic. These days we just say, it's magic technology. And magic was the name of the overseers of the original Roswell crash. Magic was also known as Majestic. And there was Vannevar Bush. No relation to George Bush, we don't think so. But, it was the same name. But no, Vannevar Bush, well, I didn't know. This is very odd. I can't tell you. I haven't researched that. Okay, the next thing about A-listers in the Illuminati is not at all clear as to who as a person is the head of the Illuminati. We would say more like the Illuminati is not a group mind. It is not a database. It is a mind control. And the mind control is designed to influence you. And the idea is to influence you to, at some point, learn about things like witchcraft or high mass in Latin, various other magical incantations using sacred oils like and we want to tell you, generally speaking, Eleusinian mysteries were people breathing bad air. In other words, they would go to a crack in the side of a volcano, and there would be like a sulfur smell coming out from this crack from the volcano, and they would get high on it. They were using huff, natural huff from a volcano. It might have been, could have been deadly. Some of these vents might give you like methyl mercaptan that would just kill you. So they had to know which was the proper vent, and maybe they had human sacrifices. They were sent out to go and just sit at various vents and see when they would either get really high and start talking from the astral entities by telepathy, or maybe they would get sick and they would have to come fetch them, or really bad, they just dropped dead and that was it. That was your human sacrifice method of determining which of the Eleusinian mysteries you wanted to experience. The death smell, or the sex smell, or the orgasm smell, or the peanut butter smell, or the smell of my armpits. Okay, it's Bob Frizzell, and we want to encourage you to reconsider everything you know about everything. And that also goes for the considerable debate over the status of what should be done with acacia grass. I mean, if I want to buy acacia grass, I think I could get it for planting in my backyard as an ornamental. And the place I would get it in Canada would be Home Depot. If Home Depot has this stuff, I gotta go.